Hello, veterinary unicorns. Today I want to talk to you about how to manage neonates that are born via cesarean section. I actually just got the joy of managing one of these. Super fun case. It was Boston Terrier. The owners were money concerned. We didn't know how many puppies were in there, and she had a total of 10 puppies. We got 9 out of 10 of them to be alive at the end of the event, which is amazing. The 10th one was the one that was clogging up the works, and it was actually a breech. So unfortunately, we couldn't save that one, but 9 out of 10 is pretty incredible. And that's a lot of puppies for Mama Boston Terrier. Woo! Bless that mama for sure. She's going to be very busy. So let's talk about how to manage neonates after a cesarean section. So they're going to come out with respiratory depression, and you need to get yourself ready even before they start coming out. Wear gloves. I still to this day see people grabbing babies with their bare hands. Your hands have a lot of potential fomites on there. You've been touching other counters, you've been touching other pets, you've been touching yourself. So you don't want to spread those germs to the babies. So please wash your hands and wear gloves before handling babies. And then get an area ready to go. It doesn't require that much, but it does require a warm area. So like a bear hug or a warm water blanket, something like that. Air blankets are usually better. Incubators. Make sure you warm them, not burn them. They have no way of wiggling away. They just got born. They don't even know how to walk or do anything yet. So we want to make sure that we're going to warm them and not burn them. So stay away from warm water bottles that you microwave. Unfortunately, those come out at like thermonuclear levels. Heat is often inconsistent, so we don't want those up against the babies. We want a nice warm area that is warm and not burning them. The next thing you're going to need is oxygen. Ideally, oxygen drop-down lines are the best. If you are using the anesthetic machine, make sure you flush any isoflurane or sevoflurane that could potentially be in that line. Change out the circuits, change out the reservoir bag, get it as clean as possible so you're only delivering oxygen to those neonates. Oxygen is really key because, again, the biggest thing they're going to suffer from is respiratory depression. So you definitely want to go ahead and get some nasal flow by going on these guys as soon as possible. When they come out, they're often kind of a little purple, maybe a little blue color. I want you to stimulate the respiratory system. So you're going to rub them, rub. Lots of rubbing, drying them, getting them as dry as possible. Oxygen on the face, keep rubbing, and then you're going to take a bulb syringe and you're going to suction out their oral and nasal passages. So just very gently suctioning out with the bulb syringe and suctioning out the oral cavity. You no longer fling babies. And I was just having this conversation with colleagues that when I went to school in the 90s, we actually practiced coddling the baby and flinging it downward. Do not fling the babies. Let me repeat that one more time. Don't fling babies. It turns out when we fling them, we actually cause their head to snap back. Maybe 1 or 2 got flung across the floor. I want to just say I've never done that, but unfortunately it happened, and that's why that recommendation no longer exists. So do not fling babies. We don't need to do it. They live just fine as long as we don't fling them and snap their cervical vertebrae, give them a concussion. I often think about what that would be like in human medicine if your baby was born and you just watch the doctor go wham and slam your baby, your human child, down in a downward position. So don't do that to our kittens and our puppies that were just born. The other thing is no doxapram. Say what? Yeah. They do not have the oxygen carrying capacity to manage this drug. It puts on too much demand on their respiratory system, so we don't do doxapram anymore. We learned from both the flinging mistakes and the doxapram mistakes. So what happens if they're really not breathing very well? You can maybe put a drop of epinephrine underneath their tongue, just one drop, one time. It either works or it doesn't, okay? And then you can also consider just a drop of dextrose. This is after 20, 30 minutes and they're not thriving. If they're still really not thriving, you've been dry. They're pretty dry at this point. They're not really taking a lot of breath. You've been holding the oxygen in front of their face. They're on a nice warm area and they're still not doing well. Then you can consider a drop of epinephrine or a drop of dextrose. But that's pretty much it. And then don't forget to tie off the umbilical with some absorbable sutures. and go ahead and clip it off. And then you've got your baby, and hopefully they're squeaking and squawking and they're ready for mom to come out of surgery and latch right on and start nursing right away. Yes, they can absolutely nurse right away. I think that's another misconception is we want to give mom opioids. We want her to come out and not be painful. So when she wakes up, she looks upon her babies and goes, oh, they're beautiful, rather than why are they eating my belly because my belly is so sore? Why are they trying to burrow through into my abdomen? We don't want her to think that. So instead we want her to look and be like, I see purple elephants. I see rainbow colors, and I don't remember having babies, but they're here and they're beautiful and I love them. So really there's very limited respiratory or cardiac depression that occurs when the neonates nurse from mom that has had opioids. That's also a misconception. So we give opioids to mama all the time, and the babies are nursing, and it's not like they suffer any effect. And if for some reason they do, you can reverse it with just a drop of naloxone under their tongue. But I've not personally had that issue. So I hope this helps with your cesarean section resuscitations. Again, don't fling the neonates. No need to give doxapram, oxygen and warmth and rub, 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 rub. They are not considered deceased until they are warm and dry. Sometimes it takes a long time to resuscitate them. So that's the other rule of thumb. I hope this helps you. Thank you for all that you do, and keep on being a unicorn.